I'm going to show you how to use your slings to tie a Prusik knot in your AIReal Yoga hammock. So first off, you need to prep your hammock to make sure your ends are even. If you don't know how to do that, please watch the video Prep Your AIReal Hammock, and then you'll know how to get your ends even so you're prepared to make your Prusik knot. So we're going to want to have a bit of a tail. So I'm holding on to one end of the hammock. And I usually like to have at least a foot or two of tail when I'm using the sling and beginning to wrap the Prusik knot. So you'll use one of the slings. You'll notice that there's a tag on your sling, and this tells you the rating. And it's attached to where there's a sewn part. So the webbing is sewn together to make this loop. I like to turn it inside out, and so when I fold it in half, the tag is on the inside. That's not a safety thing, but it just takes the tag on the inside so it doesn't stick out. So we're going to be folding this sling in half. You want to have that sewn part at the top. What you'll notice is that sewn part doesn't really bend very well, so we don't want that to be in the wrap of the Prusik knot. So I'm folding it in half, holding on to where that sewn edge is. Now I'm going to take that folded in half sling, and I'm going to put the sewn part at the top and hold that with my other thumb. So I'm holding it just below the sewn part. Now this bottom I'm going to wrap around twice. You need to wrap a Prusik knot a minimum of 2 times. If you just do it once, you're just choking it and the hammock could slide and be dangerous. If your sling is really long, then you can wrap it more times if necessary. But what you'll get in the AIReal Yoga kit is a sling that works perfect when you wrap it twice. So I'm going to take that end and put it under, and I'm going to wrap it around 1 and then wrap it around again 2. Now on that bottom loop, I have to open it up because I'm going to put this opening through the top part that is sewn. And this is called choking it. So I'm going to open it up, put that sewn part through, and then pull the sewn part through. So now I have my Prusik knot, pulling it tight. I'll put a carabiner in it so it doesn't come undone, and I'll show you how to do the other side. Well, ultimately, we're just going to do it again, a little review. So I'm holding on to the hammock. I have my sling folded in half. Sewn part is at the top. This bottom one is going to wrap around once, twice. I'm going to open it up and choke it through the top part. Pull it tight, pulling down on both sides of the hammock so it's nice and tight. Now I'm going to put the other end in that same carabiner. So the carabiner has the end of both of our slings, and both of our slings are in a Prusik knot. To add a safety knot, you're going to take the tail and simply just add a knot. It doesn't have to be any fancy knot, just a knot is going to be enough. And this is going to help prevent it from sliding off when you're adjusting it. It's really not necessary for the Prusik knot to be tight, but when we adjust it, sometimes we slide too fast and then we have a tendency to slide the sling off the hammock. So it's also nice just as an added safety. If you ever do see it sliding, it could potentially protect it from sliding all the way out. So again, another knot into this second end. So when you tie these safety knots, let's get it over here. There you go. Sorry, And when you tie these safety knots, you want to make sure that there's at least, I say, like 2 fingers distance before the knot. You don't want the knot right up into the sling. You need a little bit of space, especially because when you're going to be tightening it, you need to pull down on both ends, both sides, to tighten it. So making sure that this knot has at least an inch or 2 away from your sling. And we're going to be adjusting it, and so this tail is going to be getting shorter and longer as we adjust it. So ultimately, I'm all tangled up. There you have it. This is how we tie our Prusik knots in our hammock. This carabiner then is going to attach to our swivel, and then the quick link is attached to the swivel. You need to turn it to tighten it, and it will be attached to whatever your point is. I also like to turn the carabiner so the wide part is at the bottom holding both of the slings, and it just seems to fit a little bit better. That's not a safety, that's more of a preference. So how do we change the height now? All right, now that this is hanging, I'm going to do this down here, and then I'll show you another version of once it's hung. But I'd like to show you just how we're going to adjust it. Ultimately, we're going to keep it in the carabiner and just try and loosen that choke a little bit. Once it's loose, then we're going to turn it vertical. So if I want to shorten my hammock, I need to make the tail longer. So I would want the tail facing up, and I would pull it up and through. Now to tighten it, I need to pull down on both sides to tighten it. If I want to loosen it, if I want to shorten it, I'm going to loosen it a little bit, and then I need to make the tail shorter. So I'm going to add the tail down. I'm going to grab on just above that sling and pull it through. To then tighten it, we have to pull down on both sides.